Clarity, focus, and emotion are the three primary driving factors to help me get what you want. So whether you're using a reframing technique, a personal development technique, and especially, at least I hope, in a meditative state, particularly dynamic meditation, these three are the pillars of the difference that will make the difference in whether you reach your goal and get what you want or not. So let's take a look. And what I want to share with you, teach you, are the 5 jumpstart questions. It's a framework, a simple yet with profound results framework that I teach to my clients, my coach mentor clients, in my Silva Method classes. And it's something in the 4-day immersion of life and intuition system that we really build deep into and cover a wide range of techniques and tools that help to bring this about. So let's take a look. What I'd like you to do right now is think of something you're working on, something you're concerned about, something that's important to you. And let's see how you can begin to apply this right here, right now, and at least use this as a map to point you in a direction, to get you on course, to spark some movement. I call them the 5 jumpstart questions, and actually I learned this from John Filito. He's the author and creator of the 90-Day Game, author of It's a Fabulous Book. He's a good friend of mine, somebody I've shared the stage with. We work together. I coach him, he coaches me. So a little shout out to John. 5 jumpstart questions. First question is, and it begins with this: we all know how important clarity is. I've been doing this work since 1971. I'm in my 51st year. I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people all over the world in the Silva Method immersion of life and intuition system. And I find that this is perhaps one of the stumbling blocks that so often people say, gee, Ken, I know this technique, the mirror of the mind, or whatever technique you might be using for self-development to internalize the changes, which is so important. I know what to do, I know the skills, but I'm not sure what the heck I want. I'm not clear. Or I have found that sometimes we're wishy-washy. And I hear people say that, well, I want to be healthy. What do you mean by that? It's not clear enough. It's not focused enough. It could mean different things to different people. I want to scale up my business. Well, what does that mean? 10%? 20%? It's important. So the very first question, perhaps the most obvious, is what is it that you want? So these are questions you ask yourself. What do you want? And I'll add, what do you really want? It sounds simple enough, straightforward enough. It's not surprising though how often, I've gone through it myself too, where I think I really want something and I'm stumbling, having some difficulty, and come to realize it's really not of primary interest. So what is it that you want to create? And notice I'm using the word create, not manifest. I love the word manifest. It rolls right off the tongue. Really, I believe more, the position I take is that we're co-creators. You are far more than what you realize. You have incredible human potential. What may be missing is the right training, the skill set, the discipline, the lack of knowledge possibly, or the lack of implementation of what you know. Many different reasons. So it begins with, and I invite you, I want you in fact, to ask yourself this question quietly. Not overthink it, not analyze it to death, but what is it that you really want? And these 5 jumpstart questions will help you gain clarity. The second question is, what is motivating? So you're asking yourself this again, what is motivating me to want to create this? Kind of like your big why, if you will. Ask yourself, what is motivating me to create this? So if you're concerned, you want to optimize your health. You want health and well-being. You want to, well, what's motivating? Well, I want to be able to have the energy to keep up with my children, with my grandchildren. I love to dance. I want to have the energy and be able to walk up the stairs and dance and not, or finish a round or two of golf or tennis, whatever it might be, and not lose it, not prematurely fatigue. So what's motivating you to create this? The third question, thank you, is you're asking yourself, what talents and strengths do I have to help me create this? This is an assessment. Notice the question is what talents and strengths, not what's wrong with me. It's important that we have a self-assessment of what do I bring to the game? And in that, you may begin to realize you need more training. You need a higher level of competence. You need some help from a coach, a mentor, from a good friend, a book, a lesson, a video, whatever it might be. What talents and strengths do you have that will help you to get there? The fourth question you're asking yourself is, why is this valuable to me? Remember we said emotion, clarity, focus, and emotion are the pillars, the driving factors, the driving forces that help get the job done. Why is this valuable to me? It's like your big why. And some of these questions seem a little bit redundant in part, and I urge you, follow through, it works. So why is this valuable to you? And the fifth question, which relates to that also, is how will I and others benefit from this creation? So you've got both the extrinsic and intrinsic benefits. These two questions in particular will add the emotions. Science shows us now that it's not enough to meditate. You can meditate for your healthy well-being. Fantastic. More energy. However, years ago, 1971, I learned dynamic meditation. And all that means is you can reach a quiet, relaxed, focused state and actively think and focus. It's a skill set, to be sure, and it takes practice. But once you do that, and I was blessed and fortunate way back in 1944, Mr. Jose Silva spent 22 years, and in 1966, he created, after 22 years of research, hundreds of thousands of dollars invested, and developed a proprietary process that involved research in both hypnosis and meditation, positive thinking, psychology, and studies of brain waves and understanding brain states. And the long story short is he put together this process. So you can apply the same thing. What I'm telling you is we now know from years of research, and neuroscience basically verifies this, that affirmations by themselves are not enough. Affirmations by themselves, declarations, it's the emotion behind it that makes it happen. So we also know that it's not enough to just sit on our butt and wait for it to happen. So we want mentally rehearse. We creatively visualize what it is we want. We imagine it as if it's happened already. Very important. And when you can do that in a quiet, relaxed state, and your brain waves have slowed down within the range of alpha and theta, which is very natural, by the way, it comes very naturally. Every night when you go to sleep, we move through these states. During the day, daydream, we move through these states. The objective of dynamic meditation is to sustain the state and stay consciously aware. And while in that state, even the visualization by itself helps. And when it's got emotion behind it, and you can elevate your emotions with feelings of joy, feelings of gratitude, feelings of appreciation, feelings of focusing on the benefits, how it's going to help you, how it's going to help others, how it will help the world, how it will help your clients, why it's valuable, what it's going to bring to you. That's how you elevate your emotions. Very important. So I recommend highly that you apply this toward your self-development. And do one goal at a time, one objective at a time. So let me just recap for you and add a little bit more. Number one, what do I want to create? You want to focus on the positive. Well, I don't want to be in debt anymore. No, that's not focusing on what you want. I want to have financial independence. I want to have the freedom to move, the freedom to travel, the freedom to be generous with my children, the freedom to enjoy that car, that high-end car that I like. Or I want the freedom to be able to donate comfortably. You get the idea? Second question, what is motivating me? So for example, one of my joys, one of my great passions is the Silva Method, the program. I've taught it all over the world. I serve as the training director. If you don't know my work, my name is Ken Coscia. I serve as the training director, and I'm the guy, the man who at a young age in the 1986, Jose Silva, the founder, creator, developer of this, the man who started it all, out of 1,000 global instructors, he chose me to be one of only 4 to serve, and he was one of the 4 to serve on his elite staff. Have you ever experienced something like that, where somebody sees in you something you don't see in yourself? I was like, really? Why me? Well, I think I've lived up to it because I'm constantly upgrading my skill. So one of the things, what I want to create is, I want to reach as many people as possible with this program. What is motivating me behind that? Yes, it's my career, it's my vocation, my avocation. Yes, it's how I support myself, my family, etc. And more importantly, what's motivating me is I firmly believe and recognize that you make a difference, I make a difference, even if you say nothing to anybody. And what's motivating me behind that is I know that if I'm a little bit kinder, a little bit more patient, and if the students who I serve, my clients, if they could be a little kinder, a little bit more patient, less stressed, they'll be more effective, they'll be more productive, they'll be kinder, more generous, less road rage, stuff like that. And that overall is going to make the community that I live in, that we live in, you live in, the state, the world at large, a little bit better. And as more and more people are of that mindset and are contributing in a positive way, it helps all of us, because we are in this together and we do make a difference as a collective. The third question, what talents and strengths do I bring? Well, I like people. I like to talk. Even as a kid, I like to talk. But also I've been trained. I'm constantly studying and upgrading. And now, as I've had to pivot and make more things available virtually, and now doing these classes virtually and in person, I had to upgrade my skills because I recognized I was lacking some knowledge of technology. I was lacking an understanding of how to deliver it. I was lacking an understanding of recording videos. So I've invested a ton of time and money over the past 5-6 years studying, practicing, learning from people who have done it, who I admire and respect, to see how I could make it mine. So the assessment taught me I've got some great strengths, I've got some high levels of competence, and I also recognized I needed more work in other areas. That's why these questions will help you get more clarity as to not only what you want, but how or what you need to do to get there. Number 4, why is this valuable to me? Reaching more people more effectively? Yes, I can come from my heart and teach classes because I want to, and be here because I want to, and not because I need, because I have to pay the bills. And I'm happy to say I'm very blessed and fortunate that that's true. It's valuable to me because I want to be a better role model for my children. I have 3 children. Now I have 3 grandchildren. I want to be a better role model for my students, clients. I want to make a difference, contribute. I turned 70 in a few weeks. And I don't believe in retirement. Sure, I'm slowing down a bit, making adjustments, of course. However, it's very important to me that I'm somehow, some way contributing in a positive way and making a difference. Otherwise, what am I going to do? Sit home and watch TV, golf every day? I mean, it's nice, but not very meaningful, at least for me, with due respect. The 5th question again, how will I and others benefit from this? Well, when you think about other people, I think about my children, I think about the lives of people I've touched. It inspires me to listen how they've taken command of their lives, how they've turned things around. And it benefits me too, because yeah, I get rave reviews, I have clients who trust me and hire me, and more importantly, we're in this together. So the big picture, I can tell you, in these decades, I've been doing this a little more than half a century. Hard to believe, it flies by. And the only way I've been able to sustain the consistent application and navigated all the challenges and obstacles and recessions and pandemics, etc., is to have a life vision, a clearly defined life vision. And part of that includes the value to me and to others whom I serve. So my friends, use these 5 jumpstart questions. Play with it. Work with it. It'll get easier. And remember, you are far better than you realize. To be continued.